Hi friends, today we are going to see about one of the DNA repairing mechanism, that is double stranded DNA repair. We have already discussed that pyrimidine dimers, base excision repair and mismatch repair. In that one more mechanism is double stranded DNA repair. So this is very important because we have two types of double stranded DNA repair. So first we will see what will cause the double stranded DNA damage. So first it is toxic food ingestions, and second if we go into detail it will be very large. So first it can be due to any different toxic food ingestions, second it is due to replication errors, and third it is due to ionizing radiations. So all this may cause a damage or a break in this double stranded DNA. But the thing is, previously we have discussed many repairing mechanism. In that there can be a chance for getting damage in one strand and the other strand will be intact, but here all this going to cause both the strands to damage, or both the strands will miss their specific nucleotides. So now this has to be repaired. If there is one intact template, then the repairing of the another strand will be easy, but here both are lost. So now what will be the mechanism? So for this we have two types of repairing mechanism. One is non-homologous end joining, the other is homologous recombination. So as the name itself mentioning, it is a non-homologous end joining. It is nothing but the both the ends of that broken side will get joined together, just as like it will ligate. That is non-homologous end joining. Whereas in homologous recombination, it means it is going to produce new strand. That is homologous recombination. Before going to this difference, we will see one by one. So this is for differentiation. One is non-homologous end joining and one is homologous recombination. Both have double stranded break. But in homologous end joining, there will be processing. So how it is going to process? This ends which has been broken cannot ligate as it is, because there will be some damaged nucleotides. So those nucleotides cannot bind each other. So what the nuclease will do, that is the enzyme nuclease. So what this enzyme will do is it will further cut some of the sequence. So this is the reason for this missing sequence. The nuclease will cut both the broken ends and there will be a large missing sequence. So now what the DNA ligase will do, these two ends will come together and it will get joined. So there won't be any new synthesis, no new synthesis. It has lost some part of sequence and the both ends come together, and with help of DNA ligase it will be ligated. So are you thinking that this is a effective method of recombination? Sorry, is it a effective method of ligation, that is repairing? No, because of course there is some DNA sequence deletion occurring, which itself can be a chance of getting mutation in future. So this is more of error prone method and it is not good, or you can tell it as a quick and dirty solution. It will repair it easily, but it won't be a correct solution. Hence it comes the another method, which is our non-homologous recombination. So what is non-homologous recombination? The same damage, but here it is going to synthesize the strands, but both the strands are damaged. How it will synthesize? To synthesize one broken side, it should have a template. So based on the template, the complementary bases will be produced and it will ligate. So here our sister chromatids come in action. So this broken side will take use of our sister chromatids. From this sister chromatids, it will use this as a template and it will produce their sequences. So what is sister chromatids? What is sister chromatids? So for sister chromatids it's nothing but so we know during DNA replication the two strands will unwind and a new strand will come to synthesize to form a two double stranded DNA structure. So here this will be our one sequence or one double stranded and this will be our second sister chromatid. So here the damage is here. So if there is damage here, of course it can make use of the second sister to use it as a complement, because this is a complement to this one, and hence it is taking use of sister chromatid. Since it has a correct sequence, it can use this as a template and based on that complementary basis can be produced. So this is an effective method and also very correct method and very less error prone method of homologous recombination. So based on this you can come to an idea that homologous recombination can occur only after DNA replication. Yes or no? Because only after DNA replication we will get sister chromatids. So it is a method which is used after DNA replication, whereas non-homologous end joining, it is not using any of other sister chromatids. Hence it can be done before DNA replication also. So this is the main difference between these two methods. Okay, let us see these two methods in detail further. So first, this is our non-homologous end joining method. So this is the double stranded break in DNA. Always during DNA repair mechanism there will be one protein that will come into action. We have already discussed in mismatch repair it is mute protein. Similarly here it is Ku protein. The name of the protein is Ku protein. So what this protein is doing? So consider this light green as our protein. So this light protein will come and bind to that damaged site. So once it is binded, our protein kinase C will bind to this protein. So once protein kinase C is attached, it can be active only during phosphorylated condition. So if your protein kinase is phosphorylated, it will be active. So to make it phosphorylated, we have some additional protein. The name of the protein is Artemis. That is Artemis. So first protein is Ku and second protein is Artemis. So this protein will phosphorylate the protein kinase C, and once it is activated, the protein is also activated and hence our repairing synthesis will start. So it will cut off some extra sequences, and after cutting off this extra sequences both the ends will come and ligate it. So this is the repaired DNA which has been done, but it has suffered a deletion of some nucleotides. Hence it is not an effective method of DNA repair mechanism. So let us see the other method, which is homologous recombination. So before going to homologous recombination, I need to discuss one concept that is called as DNA hybridization. So what is DNA hybridization? So what is DNA hybridization? Can anyone tell me what is DNA hybridization? So normally this is our DNA strands. They both are in different colors. It means it is one different set of strand, and this is one another DNA double stranded strand. So these two are not double helix. Okay, this red will have one complementary strand and this color will have one complementary strand, but due to some damage it has been cut from their double helix and both are now as a single stranded. So like this many single stranded strands will be present in our body. So what our single stranded strands will do is it will try to pair by itself by 3 nucleotide sequence. We know triple nucleotide. So once if there is triple nucleotide pairing occurs, it will try to pair further sequences. So what this two single stranded sequence is doing is it is trying to pair. Sometimes it will pair correctly, it will go for zippering method, and it will hybridize, that is the two different single stranded will bind up and form a double helix. But sometimes it won't work out, that is the first and the second will not pair, there won't be any no matching nucleotide sequence, and hence it is non-pairing interaction. If pairing has occurred, it is called as DNA hybridization method. So from this we will see what is homologous recombination. So this is the figure for understanding homologous recombination. This is homologous recombination. Here you can see the two strands. This will be one strand and there will be one more strand. So there is a damage in the first strand. So what it is going to do? It is going to use their sister chromatid as a complementary basis. Based on that, a new strand will be synthesized. So first, this broken site is going to just remove extra bases. Why it has to remove extra bases? The damaged site will have some damaged nucleotide which cannot further elongate or further synthesize itself. So it has to break some extra sites. So once it has been done, it will try to pair with their sister chromatids, that is called as strand exchange. That is, this strand is going to exchange with here. This will come and try to exchange with the sister chromatid strand. Okay, so here you can see this is first strand, this is the second strand. This second strand will come and pair with this. So now this will become the complementary strand to this strand, and based on this complementary strand which is intact, it is trying to initiate or elongate the strand. So once it has been elongated, that is once it has initiated some few nucleotide sequences, it will elongate by itself by using DNA polymerase. We know DNA polymerase cannot initiate, but it can elongate. So for initiation we need something. So it has used the sister chromatid for initiation of the sequence. Once it is initiated, it will go back to its original position, and our DNA polymerase will elongate the strand and ligase will bind up the strand. So once one strand has been initiated and elongated, based on this sequence, the other strand will elongate their sequences, and hence we will get two corrected DNA strand by using their sister chromatid as a complementary base. Since it has used sister chromatid as a complementary base, we know that the sequence formed here is correct sequence and there won't be any error. So this is called as homologous recombination, but itself has two methods. One is called crossover homologous recombination and the other is non-crossover homologous recombination. So what is crossover and what is non-crossover? So here you can see three different colors. Based on color, it will be easy to understand. First it is red, we will consider this yellow, and here it is green. So here I have drawn the chromosome structure. This red is this one, this is this one, sorry. So this is this one. Okay, so there was some damage which was corrected with green color and which is present here. So here it means this damaged strand has corrected the damages and it is present in the same chromosome. So it is called as non-crossover. There won't be any crossover occurred. Okay, but there is one more thing called crossover homologous recombination. What it will happen, this crossover homologous recombination? So here it has used the strand exchange method. Since it has used the strand exchange method and initiated the synthesis, it will try to elongate in their same way, and hence this part will come to complement this one. You understand? So in that condition, it is called as crossover method, and hence this corrected sequence will come here and the sister chromatid sequence will join here. So this is called as crossover homologous recombination method. Okay, so this is very good, and here there will be a chance of mutations to occur. So now we have discussed both the homologous recombination and non-homologous end joining method, but there is a difference, 7 points, which is very important for understanding. So which all 7 points we have already discussed, but now we are going to just see it as difference, that's all. So first it is non-homologous end joining. So non-homologous end joining, as I already said, it is a quick method, but it is a dirty method because there will be more chance of error. But homologous recombination, since it has used this sister chromatid, it is an accurate method of error, accurate method of correcting the errors. So second difference is it has more chance of error, but homologous recombination there will be very less or no chance of error. The third is in non-homologous end joining, it didn't use any template available. It has just ligated the broken ends. Yes or no? But here in homologous recombination, it has used the sister chromatids. Hence, from this point, we will understand one thing, that non-homologous end joining has occurred before replication, but homologous recombination has occurred after replication. And also in non-homologous end joining, there is no any stand exchange method. It didn't use anything, so there won't be any other stand exchange present. But in homologous recombination, it has used the sister chromatids, and hence the stand exchange has occurred with the sister chromatids. The next point is it cannot rescue replication fork. But here, even though if there is some problem, that is, as I already said, there will be error with replication, can cause damage. So in that condition, the problem with the replication is replication fork damage. So those replication fork damage can also be rectified with help of homologous recombination, but those things cannot be done with non-homologous end joining method. And the final point, but very important point, is the protein used in non-homologous end joining is Ku protein, and the protein which is used in homologous recombination is Rad51 protein. So the function of Ku protein is it helps to grasp both the DNA ends. Yes or no? Here we have seen this is Ku protein which is grasping or holding the broken ends. But here the Rad51 protein has involved in search of homologous DNA and invention. That is, here the function of Rad51 is it is trying to find whether its complementary sequence is present with their sister chromatids. So that is the function of Rad51. So this difference is very important, and from this difference we can understand the concepts also. Okay, thank you.